Egypt's Ministry of Defense has released a video showing the country's military carrying out airstrikes on what they said were militant outposts connected to Friday's deadly mosque attack in North Sinai. At least 305 people, including 27 children, were killed in the attack when a bomb was detonated and militants gunned down fleeing worshippers. Egyptian security forces have been battling an Islamic State affiliate in the mainly desert region since 2013. Militants have killed hundreds of police and soldiers in past attacks. Well, let's get you an update now from CGTN's Adel Mahrouhi, who now joins us live from Cairo. Adel, Egyptian forces have been carrying out operations against militants suspected to have carried out that attack on Friday. What's the latest you have?
Well, the military operations are still ongoing, and still there hasn't been any report of arrests happening of those who were involved or has aided the perpetrators in the attack itself. But there has been several reports of at least 30 militant elements killed during the latest strikes, and dozens of vehicles, warehouses, weapons warehouses and hideouts have been destroyed in the past couple of days. And also the army says that it's gathering massive information from residents who have been cooperating with the armed forces to retaliate against the militant groups who have conducted this. The militants had an ISIL flag, which indicates they may be an ISIL affiliated group. However, ISIL has not yet claimed responsibility, nor did any other group.
So, Adel, at least 30 militants killed there. What about the casualty figures from Friday's attack?
Well, the casualties figures have been constant, at least that's according to the official report. Yesterday, as you've mentioned, the Prosecutor General's office released a statement about the details describing how the incident unfolded. But since his report earlier in the morning, there hasn't been any official update to the number of casualties, which may mean that there is more or less stability in the health conditions of the people in hospitals. But we know that there's at least 128 people have been injured in these attacks. They're distributed in about 7 hospitals in several cities beyond Al Arish as well, the Suez Canal cities, and here in Cairo also there's 2 hospitals who have been hosting those in critical condition, and they've been under supervision from the health authorities here. The deputy prime minister, or the charge d'affaires of the prime minister, has visited the hospital and have met the families and the victims, but they have been holding quite a strong grip to isolate them from the media. Many journalists tried to enter an interview, but they have not been successful. Later on, the successful part was before the authorities imposed this ban, but now as the ban continues, we cannot get information from those involved themselves.
Well, returning to the operations, we know that Egypt has been conducting operations in the Sinai region over the last 3 years. What has been the public reaction, considering the heavy military deployments in that region?
Well, many are doubtful that a military solution alone could end this long crisis. Insurgency has been on the rise since 2013, and despite heavy government crackdown and security officials trying to make a lockdown in the Sinai area, they have not been successful to make it 100% militant-free zone, which means that there is much more needed than the military solution itself. Some have been calling for dialogue, but the government has been skeptical about how dialogue would help in such a situations. It has an example where in 1990 it had sort of a revived dialogue with extremist groups who have held several terrorist attacks in the country back then, but many of them have kept their ideologies and developed new groups. So that's why the government is quite reluctant about that part. But what seems to be a main point of agreement between everyone, critics and government officials, is that development, economic development, must take place in North Sinai region. Job opportunities must be created, and these youth who have been easily recruited by extremist groups will have to be, they must get busy with work, and therefore this may be one of the solutions that the government will be trying to approach and intensify actually in the coming period.
Okay, Adel, thank you for that update. That was CGTN's Adel Mahrouhi there, live for us in Cairo.